Hey, welcome back to the Traveling Man Heirloom Lessons. One of the things that I really enjoy doing is cooking, and more than anything I enjoy cooking for people. And one of the things that I think is very important when you're cooking is preparation. Um, it goes a long way in kind of preparing a meal. I like to do all my prep work beforehand. I like symmetry. My dad taught me that if you cut everything about the same size, it's really easy to time and gauge kind of how you introduce things. Generally, when I'm camping on an adventure bike or in a vehicle, but I'm just camping, self-supported, I cook everything in one pan. And I've actually I believe I've gotten pretty good at knowing how to time things. So I'm going to talk today a little bit about just food prep. Not the cooking, but the preparation for cooking. You'll notice that I always have a variety of different utensils that I use. I like cleavers a lot. I like anything with weight. It makes the slicing and dicing effortless. I generally will have, the edges taken off because I have found that the more you choke up on a cutting utensil, the better control you have. I typically like handmade items. These are made specifically for my needs. Again, this edge is very important. If you have one, you may want to take it to a knife smith if you're able. Definitely take off that 90 degree, because I have found that it's easiest to actually hold the knife this way. A lot of people will hold it this way, but the further you get from the slicing portion of the blade, the less the more you give up control. So I like to get the knife about here, and it does really, really well. So I'm going to give you an example of safety. I typically will take my cutting board and I put a towel under it. I love to prep out here on my welding table. This is probably my favorite place. But here you can see that if I put a towel underneath this, it is really planted firmly. And number one, just don't get under the blade. Your fingers are your gauge, and just be careful. And the more you do it, the more you become comfortable with it. But I typically will start this way, and I cut them in half. And what I'm looking for is chunks of potato, diced potatoes that are about a 1/4 inch by whatever the length this is. But I'm trying to get them about a 1/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. So I use my finger. I was taught to do it this way. And this way, no matter if you have your finger like this, no matter how fast you bring your blade in from the side, not down, but in from the side, you will never injure yourself. So I hold it like this, and I bring my blade up from the side. I never come down on anything, always bring it from the side. And I kind of start by laying the first one out about a 1/4 of an inch. And from there, I lay them all out about a 1/4 of an inch. Again, come in from the side. And these are about a 1/4 by 1/4. Maybe a little over, but I guess that's about how they come out. And what I have found is that when you can do this, you can really get everything where it cooks nicely. And you can, I'm being super cautious here, but you can get where you're pretty efficient at this. And there, now that potato is very, very symmetrical, and it's going to cook very, very nicely. And they will all cook rather even. There's no right way, there's no wrong way, but this is just how I was taught. This is the lessons that I was taught. My dad told me that if you're efficient when you're cutting, your eyes won't tear up. You'll just kind of go through your system pretty well and efficiently. So I generally will take the onion, I cut it in half. The onions cook a little bit faster. I like them a little on the crunchy side. So I typically, my first cut will come in at an angle from the side. And that gets me close to that quarter, and then I start dicing them this way. When I get to the halfway mark, I turn it around and I come back in from the other side. And there you go. And this will get you all the onions, you know, where they're kind of long. I don't know, I don't even know what this is called, but I call it Daddy's method. How about that? I do like to have these little containers, because when you have these little containers, you can keep airborne pests off, which is always nice. There you go, and that's how simple my prep is. But get comfortable with using these. Again, if you can get closer over the blade, it's nicer, you have more control. This particular blade is a handmade blade. I enjoy using it, and it is it's very heavy, it's very thick but very well balanced, and just an effortless utensil to use. So I hope that helps you. I hope that you will maybe do some of these things outside. I love to do these things outside, but be safe. Do not be under the blade and come in from the side, not the top, and it just makes food prep really, really fun, and things cook at about the right speed and very thorough. Everything is consistent. Consistency is key. So I hope you're enjoying this channel. Tune in. We'll make a meal next time.